Hey everyone, welcome to today's office hours. We're live with Terry and Vera, our all-star customer support team. Terry, welcome.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, I think Vera's calling in, so we'll have her in a minute. So we're live today going through some of the latest news on the Our Hometown blog. The main topic of discussion today is going to be the Customize tool. So we'll come back to this and go into it in much more detail. But I just wanted to highlight a couple of the other blog posts from last week that were in the newsletter. But in case you didn't see them, this is just a walkthrough on how you can schedule articles and PDFs to go live on the site. I think this was just a pretty frequently asked question in tickets, right, Terry? So we just wrote up a tutorial for it last week.
Right, we like to do the things that we get asked a lot.
Right. Yeah. So always looking for ideas on that, but this was last week's topic. So as the blog post says, no need to ever get up early. You can always schedule the issues to go live whenever. This is some changes to the related stories block, which used to be just one category related stories section that could appear at the bottom of every article. Is that right, Terry? It was just the
Right. It usually, if you had a news story, it would only feature stories from the news category.
Right. But if that category or if that article was in multiple categories, it wouldn't matter. It would just show the news related story.
Correct.
Okay, so now we've added the option where you can go into your related article settings, which is under the OHT settings tab, and you can set to include all those categories. So any category that article is in is now going to have a section of related stories. So they stack on top of each other like this.
Right.
Okay, cool.
The idea of that is to keep your readers on the site longer.
Exactly. That's the goal. Right. That was the question that came up. How are people keeping, they're preventing people from bouncing after reading one article was basically the question. And we pointed to this feature, but yeah, then we were able to add this enhancement just based on customer feedback. So that's pretty cool to see that in action. Okay, and just a quick announcement. This Friday, I'm going to be doing a virtual conference without any publisher interview this time. It's just going to be me talking about how I go through and handle the video content that we're producing. Basically how you can create a lot of high yield content from just a single live video interview. Just breaking down that process. This is going to be in preparation for the NNA convention, which we're really excited about. We were asked to give 5 presentations for 5 different flash sessions that they're going to have throughout the 2-day event. So you can check out the agenda here.
Awesome.
This is so cool. I mean, I just am so thrilled about this because basically I knew the organizers from going to this every year, in the various cities that they held it. And I approached them really early on because we were doing the virtual conferences and said, this is how it's got to be done. And I was trying to organize it for them. I really wanted to go all in with them, but they ended up using this other platform, which looks like a great platform, but they ended up asking us to do 5 sessions. I think most people are doing 1 or 2. So I'm just like, I couldn't believe that they approved everything I basically suggested.
Awesome.
I threw out 5 ideas and they're like, yeah, let's do all those. So these are all just, a lot of them are things that we've already had conferences on. Reverse publishing is a good one. I'm really excited about that one. We're going to have, so for most of these, I am going to have a publisher on to interview them again. Again, something nobody else, as far as I can tell, is doing. And that's really how you have to do these things, in the virtual conference era, I think. So there's just a couple that I'm solo.
It brings a little element of the actual conferences to the table too, that interaction.
Right. Yeah. I think being able to see 2 people talk to each other, it's always going to be more interesting than just a presentation, because all of these, I have a presentation built in, but we're going to be able to just go off on tangents and look at their live site And it's super cool. Everything's just kind of come together on this one. So hoping that we see a lot more like this as you know, the other state associations start to adapt. I've been pitching a lot of them on this idea, and I think we're going to see more of this type of thing. So that's coming up. We'll put an announcement out on that this week in this week's newsletter. Okay, so back to the customize tool. So what I'd like to do for this one, let's see, do we have any questions yet or any attendees jumping on?
I'm here. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I'm on my phone now.
Oh, hey, yeah, great. Yep, loud and clear. That's great. So you can watch and then listen through your phone.
That's right.
Okay, cool. So you're the customer, you're calling into office hours, right? That's this is like the talk show that you're calling into. So we're teaching Vera about the customized tool today. I want to try this a little differently. We've got this great blog post that Jack wrote up, and this is going to be my outline. And again, this is kind of part of the whole process for creating high yield video and just being able to do it with very little preparation. You know, for example, a newspaper publisher could just read their articles that have been written off their website, just like I am. But I'm going to have Terry take control of the screen and lead the visual demonstration. So then I can just focus on the points that we want to hit. And this is going to turn into a tutorial as part of Our Hometown University, a new feature that we're rolling out in the fall. Okay, so Terry, if you could just take control of the screen and just open up a demo site, customized page.
Do you see that?
Not yet, actually. I see, looks like you are the presenter, but there we go. Okay, so this is your bare bones, yeah, basic prototype site. So there's been no styling. So everything here, yeah, this is like a blank canvas. This is perfect. Yep. Okay, so I'm just going to go through some of the points that I really like in this post. I mean, first of all, one of the largest benefits of using Our Hometown's WordPress platform is the fact that you can customize literally everything about the design. The level of customization is at the expert level, but the knowledge required is not. It's very basic interface that the customized tool provides, because with limited technical know-how, you can change the site colors, fonts, you can rearrange widgets and ads on the site. We'll talk about applying custom CSS just briefly, you know, look at some examples of that. And then, you know, just basically have an ever-evolving vision of your website, because it doesn't need to be set in stone. You can use the customized tool on a regular basis to keep it very dynamic. And so it's all an easy to use interface. Let's see if we can open that up. It's accessible through the admin bar at the top. Just hit that paintbrush. This is only accessible to designated staff members when viewing any front end page of the site, as we were just on the home page. So when they're logged in, you can access this. When you're launching the tool, it'll reload the page that you were viewing. So that could be the home page or an internal page. And then it'll have the menu for that page on the left side of the window, which is where we're going to access all the options for the customized tool. A couple of the things I want to focus on just at a high level here is going to be the logo and image options, menus, site colors, site fonts, and widgets. Those are the most important areas. The other areas are pretty self-explanatory, so we're not going to really spend much time on it. For logos and image options, let's take a look at that. So you can easily change the website logo very quickly. Just go into, actually we have no logo now, so we're going to set it from scratch. I don't suppose you have something handy. You could use, yeah, just Our Hometown. Perfect. So we've got,
button.
Yep, always looking for the blue button to upload or choose that image. Now that it's
Now, is there a parameter for the size of the logo that is recommended?
Good question. I mean, Terry, what would you say to that? Because basically that area, do we know the size of that area? So if people want to hit it right on so that there's no resizing, it'll resize because it's all mobile responsive. But if you
Right.
don't want it to resize, what are the dimensions?
I'm not really sure what those dimensions are. I just added, I'm not sure, let's see.
I mean, the bottom line is, it can go the full width of the page,
Correct.
so that I believe is around 1440. I'd have to double check that.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's not sure.
So, yeah, I mean, the bottom line is you just have to keep in mind that it's all responsive. So, if you have a tall logo, then it's going to add more white space on the margins, The good thing is that you can, test things out in the customized tool without going live with any of it. So that's what we're going to see right now is just dropping in a primary image. So that's actually what the preview that we already have.
Yep.
So is that, it looks like you're looking on,
Do you see it?
yes. It's just the console. Okay, got it. Caught up. Okay. So any other questions on that, Vera? That's good to jump in like that.
Yep, that was really good. I understand completely.
Right. Yeah, pretty straightforward. I mean, it's basically like whatever you use will work. And then the secondary logo, let's take a look at that. So after you upload it once, you can change or remove it at any time. But these, this would be like from a blank slate prototype.
Not sure if I have the small logo.
So that's under logo and image options, right?
Right, but I'm not sure if I have it anywhere in my files. I'm just going to use the other logo and see what happens.
Well, so this logo is going to be used where? Like,
this is the smaller logo that we usually want a negative of.
Right.
To show up when you scroll down the page. So
let's see what it looks like. Yeah, that's fine. Because
this is why we want a negative. This is not the negative, so that looks pretty bad right now. But
right. Give me a second to catch up because I want to see what you're talking about because this is a good point. Yeah, so right, that's a preview of the home page, or that's the live homepage. So when she scrolls down, okay, that's what the secondary image is for. What about the image that shows up? This is just a reader or a subscriber asking this. The image that shows up in the tab, the fav icon, where is that controlled?
Fav icon is in general.
Okay, so that's not under the logo and image options. So it would be
yeah, give it a second to load here. It's under general options.
Right.
Or actually, no, I'm sorry. It's under site identity.
Okay.
Here's your fav icon.
Perfect. Okay, let it catch up for a second.
Catch up.
Yeah, it's really slow.
I don't want to talk too fast.
That's okay. Okay, so you're already uploading it. Got it. All right. Yeah, go ahead and
this will actually ask you to size your image, so you can shrink this down.
Right. Vera, are you seeing this kind of delayed too? The video?
Yeah, the video is delayed by a couple of seconds, but I'm able to keep up with you guys as long as you keep talking. There's no delay there. There's no lag.
Right. Is it like that when I demonstrate too? Usually.
No, actually, yours is pretty quick.
Okay. I think, well, when I record myself, sometimes it's delayed for me too. It's just something to be aware of. People have commented before, but rarely. Okay, so
my favorite icon is up here. It's in your tab.
Perfect. Looks good. Okay, so those are basically the three places that you want to put logos. So we've covered that topic in two different areas of the customized tool. Let's move on to the next area of menus. That's actually above logo and image options there. So this allows you to quickly access and edit any of the menus on your site while you're previewing the results in real time. Again, that's what the customized tool is all about. So you can edit your existing menus by clicking on the menu you want to adjust. So let's look at this. We've got all these menu sections. So footer, yeah, that's
It is down here.
right.
Left utility is this up here. Okay, we'll see how that
Also
matches.
called the flyout menu, right?
Nope, it's the fixed navigation.
Oh, sorry. Okay, left utility is actually the fixed navigation. Gotcha. Okay.
And how it matches up.
Right.
Okay, Office Archives.
Right. So you could rename these things though if you wanted to, right? Looks like you
You
can.
could usually do that in the back end.
Well, when you just clicked on that, click on left utility for a second.
Yep.
This
And this,
menu,
where it shows up, you still need to know where it's going to show up. It's called utility left. I could
right.
read this as fixed nav.
Yeah, I'm just saying you can make the top thing just for easy identification because that's actually what it is. Okay. No, we're just exploring the options here. As long as that doesn't mess up anything.
Nope. As long as it's still checked as left utility down here.
Right. So you do have to know that if you're gonna, right. But this is just, I would say fixed nav or in parentheses then utility left if you want to, reinforce how it actually works. But you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just nice to have this level of customization. So that's,
Let me add parentheses there.
yeah, I like that. Okay. So this is just organizing the menu areas. Now, can we, let's say, add an item to the fixed navigation or any of those areas?
Sure, let's do this too. Let's uncheck it.
Okay.
We'll make it disappear. Okay, see how that disappeared? So you want to make sure.
It's still catching up for me. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, the bar is still there.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And now
I see. You put it back on. Okay.
So if we want to add an item, let's do a category. I'm going to do e-edition just because we do get questions for that because people like to have e-edition archives.
Right. Perfect. So you just demonstrated that by dragging an item slightly to the right, you convert it to a sub-menu item of the section above it. Perfect.
Okay, and we can see it here. Got it?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Very cool. So then you got the drop down. We'll get to this in just a second, but let's say, actually, this is perfect transition. Let's take a look at site colors because you just clicked on the archives submenu, and it looked to me, it'd be nice if it was not white text on gray.
And that in this navigation bar, that is custom CSS.
Okay, that's all right. Is there any chance that you can find an example of that? Because that's not going to be on this site, right?
Right, but we can do it on the main nav.
We can just change the color. That's all right. Yeah, but
just the color.
Okay, right. So if you change that to blue, so
Still really
right, because all the hyperlinked text is white on the site, right?
right, but we can change that.
We could change that too. So
the text color would be, how's that?
So that is more readable, but it's kind of harder in the top nav. So maybe if you make it a lighter blue as the background, this is basically how you can quickly adjust things. So yeah, make that like slightly lighter so the links look better. Yeah, something like that. So just
Almost
again,
matches our house too.
what's that?
It almost matches our house.
Right. Yeah, it actually makes a lot of sense. So the Site Colors tab is the easiest way to change the color scheme on your website. On this tab, you can see a box previewing the current color. So that's what she's got for every element on the site is what it is technically. These are all different CSS elements. So the top menu is that. So yeah, once you choose the color, it's locked in there as a code. And then you could reuse that in other sections, right? If you wanted to.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. I'll go right to the main menu. Whoops, not what I want to do. Colors. We'll go to main menu. Whoops. Main navigation, background color, and I'll paste that same color in here. So I don't have to worry about trying to figure out which one is which.
Right. Main navigation. Very cool.
Now we also have the main navigation font color in white. Did you want to change that to black too?
Yeah, let's see what that looks like. Because then
We don't want to go hard
well, we
black.
just have the one link in there now, but yeah.
I want to keep that empty so we could show how to add categories.
Okay, yeah, let's you want to do that? Let's jump back to adding categories.
Sure, we'll go back to menus.
Yep.
Main menu, this is the main menu here.
Okay.
And we're going to add, oops, I grabbed the
That's
wrong
the mobile menu though, right?
I grabbed the wrong one.
So that's good to know though. So you can separately edit the mobile flyout menu, right?
Right. Okay, so the main menu, all we have is the home, the little house.
Right.
We want to add at least 2 categories. We're going to add featured, stories, and news.
Okay. So this is a pretty typical layout, I would say, where the main menu has the article categories and the fixed navigation is more like just about the paper, but you can have it reversed, right?
You can have it anyway, but actually, I think our SEO is suggesting that we get rid of this top menu and just put everything in the mobile menu.
Yeah, there has been, yeah, that did come up about it.
So,
is there a way to put breaking news up in the tab too?
If it's a category. Okay, the breaking news that we normally put up with that little red spot that appears here. Is that what you're talking about? Breaking news is if it would have to be a category, Vera. Right now,
well, I was asking if there was a way to make it a category. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the articles, and then you select a little box to make it breaking news for 24 hours. But is there a way to have like all of the breaking news all segregated in one spot?
Yes, you could do that. You could add a widget, but right now, if we're adding items, the only categories that are available to add are featured, news, uncategorized, and e-edition. The categories have to be created in order to land here to be able to add them to the main menu. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So we could actually go through that when we get to that section, because I want to add a widget to the home page. So maybe we
Sure.
can do that then. Okay, so but that's basically you just find the menu section that you want to edit, and as long as it has already been created on the site, then you can add it here. It has to be created though through an article.
It has to be created through the back end somewhere. If
Right.
you're adding, right, if you're adding a category, you need to create your category.
Right.
If you're adding a page like Contact Us, About Us, those are pages. You'd need to create the page ahead of time.
Right, right. That really underlines for me the biggest difference between the customized tool and like the CMS background, because the CMS is where you're creating content. Customize tool, you're never creating any content. You're just placing it, stylizing it, organizing it, you know. So that's the way to think of it. Okay, good. So we changed some site colors. Let's talk about site fonts really quick. This is pretty basic, but you can basically independently control all the different fonts on the site, again, by the CSS category they're in. So there's body fonts, widget heading font, site logo font. So these are all independently controlled. I think typically the rule is you don't want to have like 2 or 3 fonts is more than enough. You know, you don't want to go crazy.
Right.
I like 2 fonts tops really. So you can have the headlines.
I'm making them all the same.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see the changes yet. It's pretty cool.
Right.
Okay.
Well, heading, we wouldn't see that. Okay, heading and title. I see. Nice.
Heading is right here. Title is right here.
Right.
Here.
Widget heading is its own font. See, it would make sense for me to have the widget heading be different and then everything within the article be the same or something like that.
There. That's really drastically different. So here's your widget heading font.
Right.
Here's your title font.
Right. Okay. Yep. And those are 2 settings all in the customize tool. Okay. Let's see, final. Yeah. So in this blog post, he just goes through each one by one, but it's pretty intuitive. We got main navigation font, secondary navigation font. Those are the sections we were just adding categories to.
Right.
And then within the article, the heading. Okay. Any questions on that, Vera? Is that all pretty straightforward?
Oh yeah, it was really straightforward, easy to follow.
Okay, perfect. Now, let's take a look at the widgets. I think we can skip general and article options for now. I just want to highlight the things that Jack highlighted in the post. So last but not least, we have what is likely the most useful sections when it comes to customizing your website. I got to agree with that. The Widgets tab, which allows you to choose from, what does it say? All of the available widget areas. Yeah, so this is basically just named in a way to be descriptive of where you're looking on the home page. So above logo ads, header ads left. Those are 2 pretty good ones. So let's drop something in there. Yeah. So you just open the area. So this is going to appear to the left of the header. I can visualize it already, but now we're going to actually see it in the preview. If we can
And again, it has to be created.
Okay. So we don't have any kind of default ads. Oh, well, you do have.
Yeah,
right.
we do, but this is. I have to change a setting real quick.
Okay, right. So yeah, this is when you're working from scratch, but in a separate tutorial, you'll see how you can create the ad, get it in rotation.
There's just an odd setting in Ad Rotate Pro that causes.
Yeah, so this is not something that really comes up for customers, right? Or does it?
Right. No, this doesn't come up for customers.
This is just a brand new site. Okay, no, it's good to know.
So all of the spaces that you're going to be adding ads or different placeholders to, are they marketable? Can you sell those spaces to customers to advertise?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's what it's totally built for. I think the thing that a lot of publishers don't do that they should is mock up, an example of what it could look like, and they can do that right in the customize tool, even when the site is live. They could drop in some demo ads or a spec ad for a particular client. In the customize tool, they could drop it in there without publishing it, and then just take screenshots of that. And then it's even better to kind of do like a personalized proposal like that. But Yeah, I mean, each of these spots is marketable. I think it's almost to the point where there's too many options to really give all these options to an advertiser, because you can literally put an ad in any slot on the site and it'll expand to fit the ad, you know? So as a, you know, a publisher, you know, that worked in newspapers, like how does that strike you? That seems like exactly what you would need, right?
Oh yeah, the more real estate, the better, because you can
Right.
not be dictated to just one client. You can rotate multiple clients, so that creates more revenue.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We can have, I don't know, I've never even really taken the time to count it. It would be interesting to know. But like how
But
many ads did we run on the site? It's probably like 20 or 30. And then in each spot, you can run, you can rotate multiple ads through that one position so that they either rotate on each impression or they rotate after a certain amount of time. So it's literally infinite real estate as far as I can. I mean, there's a point where it would get to be a bit much, right? But yeah, so what Terry's going to do is basically she's activating this ad that was already in the system. And once it's activated, and I guess that's the term in ad rotate, it needs to be an active ad.
but-
And it's available to be rotated through anywhere. So, okay, so this is actually new.
and it's not working. Why is
Huh.
it?
Okay. Yeah, I wonder what else.
I'm guessing it has to do with we need CSS in here to, because this is a raw site.
Right. Could you just use like any recent prototype? I mean, like,
It should show up now. Nope, it's not showing up. Okay, so, but you saw where the error was?
right, that's where the ad would appear.
Correct. That's where the
There
error.
it is. Right. So that's header ads, right, is where you ended up placing that. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it'd be better if I got this demo site here that actually has a paywall example on it, although we probably won't talk about that. I mean, we're just about out of time anyway, because I got to wrap it up definitely by 2. So let me just see what else I can say about this.
They're just not showing up.
Okay.
Not sure why.
Can you place like just try to place like a newsletter widget really quick here, or an article widget.
Yeah, we can place a widget, I'm sure.
Right.
The placement up here in the hero header and header right.
Yeah. It'd be
If we
good
do,
to find out from Jack what he does to
Yep.
fix
I'm
that.
pretty sure it's just basic CSS that has the, it sets the logo size and the header ads, header right size. But to
See,
add,
that's interesting. Okay. Maybe it's
yeah,
because
it's probably one of those things that needs to be added to the prototype generator.
right. Yeah, just to make this a little bit more turnkey, but we almost never deliver a prototype that looks like this. So
Oh, no, we never would.
we haven't been doing that. So that's okay. I mean, basically the point. What's that?
The one thing that I wanted to point out is most sites use 2 areas on their home page, and that's the main slider area, which is this area right here, and then the default sidebar, which is this area right here over on the right.
Right.
If we wanted to add an article widget, we would go to the main slider area, add a widget, and select article widget. And what was we were going to make a breaking news category, weren't we?
Oh, that's okay. You can just choose any old category and just show how it's formatted. No, this is good. This is like when I first saw this was possible on the customized tool. That's when I really went crazy for WordPress. So you can go in there and define just with the drop-down menu what category gets pulled in there. So again, like you just said, we couldn't create a breaking news category in the customized tool right now and then place it.
Right.
We have to go into the CMS. So we're just placing news, which is already on the home page, but we'll format it completely differently.
Here's my new one right here. You can see it says new title.
Right. So that's another one that you can modify, right? The title. Yep.
New news. Whoops. Call this new news.
Yep. Okay.
Give that a second to do its thing.
Right. And this is cool because now you can really see how the CSS gets applied, but you don't have to write any code. It's just checking boxes. So right now it's basically a list of headlines.
This is the category that it's pulling from. So sometimes you have a widget called new news, but you want it to pull from a different category. Right. Or featured stories. Featured stories, you might be pulling from news. But this is where the widget knows where to pull the content from.
Right. Okay.
We can decide, we can tell it how many articles we want it to show. Right now it's showing, I'm going to show 3.
Right.
And there's a reason I'm doing 3. Right now it's a 1-column layout with no thumbnail.
Right.
So we're going to select left of article just to get some images in here. Whoops. And this is the 1-column layout. So the 1-column layout has a large image at the top, and then all the other stories fall beneath that.
Right.
For a 2-column layout, you're still going to have a larger image, but it's going to be 2 columns.
Right. Okay.
The vertical stack is what most people are accustomed to. The articles all the images are the same size and the one on top of the other. For some reason, this article isn't showing its default image.
Does it not have one? Because that's...
Yeah, I think it does. I actually might change. Let's pull it from featured stories instead and see what we get. I'm pretty sure those all have featured images. Okay.
Gotcha.
See how I did that? Still called new news, but it's pulling from the featured story category now.
Right. Those are independent. Good. Okay.
Okay. And this is why I only wanted 3, because if you do horizontal grid, this is a really cool layout. Works good for obituaries and things like that. Now you have 3 stories across. That's the grid size. It's 3 across.
Right.
And this is nice if you change your photo layout. A lot of times obituary photos aren't really good quality. Sometimes full height. And then above the article looks nice for obits.
Right. Yeah, hold up a second there, let it catch up. So, yeah, you get a real small picture, but I mean, this is closer to the original size, so that looks great. I like that combination. So you can apply different thumbnail formats, so you can do circles like this?
Correct.
Hold on a sec, let's see that. There it is, cool. Looks great.
Okay, so that's your horizontal grid.
Okay.
And this with the circle layout. I'm going to put this back to landscape. We'll keep it above article for now. Magazine style is really neat. It's great for high school sports pictures. If you have some really nice high school sports pictures, it's a good thing for your sports. Yeah. So there's the magazine layout. We can add some space in between those if you want. Just ask us. And then the headlines. Usually the headlines are just headlines and they don't have an image. This is good for things like classifieds, public notices, that sort of thing, where you don't want to have an image at all. I don't know why that has an image.
So
Okay.
yeah, weird. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well,
okay. However, I think everybody understands this is just a raw site. It hasn't got anything done to it yet.
yeah, I think if that didn't have a headline, because if it didn't have a featured image, then it
Right.
would just list the headline. So yeah, that's
So
fine.
let's go back to the horizontal or the vertical stack. So we have our images, and just go over the, whoops, add my images. So we still have 3 articles. Images are to the left, landscape. And then to go up here, you have show article author. Now we have our author listed. Subhead, if you want to show your subhead. I'm not sure that any of these even have a subhead. Doesn't look like it. Byline, author and byline. Author is the person that actually posted the article. The byline is the person that wrote the article. Okay. Sometimes people get those confused.
Right. So to clarify that for a second, then the author is controlled by their user ID.
Correct.
Right, of whoever actually posted it.
Right.
So yeah, you might want to just display the byline, so then you control that. Right. Okay.
Okay. And then this is another thing. Right now we don't have any teaser displayed. You want to check show article excerpt, and then we usually put this about 25 or 30 words.
Right.
And then this probably says apply.
Right. That's something to keep in mind. Right. Sometimes certain features require you to hit apply. Okay. But others will just do it. That looks great. Okay. This has been a really good overview. I mean, I probably want to wrap it up here. I think we covered everything on the blog post. Is there anything else you want to show, Terry, or Vera? Did you have any other questions?
We weren't able to look at the ads a little bit more extensive because there wasn't any really built or could populate. But
Right.
I did want to say that I like the fact that you can use static images, like the actual ads from the paper, or you could have one that is animated. They weren't able to see it, but I thought it was worth mentioning.
For sure. Yep. No, that's good. We can link to a video on that. I mean, we've definitely covered that point. So eventually what we'll do is kind of link all these videos together. So that's like what we could do is have a little pop-up bubble at this point in the office hours that links to that. So yeah, no, that was good. I mean, that's a lot to cover in just an hour. So that was a great summary. And I think we'll just call it a meeting for now. We didn't really get any questions as far as I can see from the audience. So yeah, just let me know if you guys have any feedback for me. But yeah, I got to jump off and prepare for the next one. We'll catch you later.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.